We know that Poland were done. They were out. They were not going to qualify. They were finishing fourth no matter what happened today. Yet, France couldn't get past them. It was a 1-1 draw in the end. Kylian Mbappe would score a penalty. Lewandowski equalised them with a spot kick. Meanwhile, drama between the Dutch and Austria. Austria, in the end, deservedly winning by 3-2. Savitzer with the goal, which proved to be the difference between the two sides, which means, obviously, Austria then go on to the easier side of the draw, and it is just a nightmare for France, given that they've got a collision course now with Spain, Portugal and Germany. Frank, I wonder if, like many, I saw France open the scoring. Kylian Mbappe scored 1-0. I switched over then to the Dutch game, thinking, oh, France are going to go on and win this no problem now. But you didn't. What happened?
Yeah, I think 99% of the people watching the game would have thought the same thing. But Poland were better. The last 25 minutes when they conceded the goal, they went for it. They were already disqualified, so they went and they started to play well. And France had a big chance to score for Mbappe, but he completely missed his shot. And after, when Poland equalized, I felt that Poland was about to win the game. They were more, they were better, they were more accurate offensively, and they were very strong. And they almost went there for the win. And I was very surprised. We are talking about Poland, as you say, they already disqualified. They lost their two previous game, and they drew against France, who is one of the contender. But that's France. France doesn't know how to dictate the game. They don't like to do so. They have a lack of efficiency at front. And it's not the first time in the competition it happened. I remember 2002 with the three best scorers in Europe, Djibril Cissé, Thierry Henry, and David Trezeguet in 3 different championships. We didn't score a goal in 3 games, but you can see the names: Barcola, Mbappe, Dembele. I mean, that's amazing. They had to have a penalty to score a goal. Then the 4-3-3 doesn't work. I think Didier Deschamps, thinking about it, he has to change something. Defensively, where we were questioning, so Saliba, Upamecano, even if Upamecano created the foul who gave the penalty, I think they're quite solid. But in the middle of the park, 3 in the middle doesn't work. I think Tchouaméni and Kanté would be enough. He needs Griezmann behind, and maybe, I don't know, somebody others, but not 3 at front. It doesn't work. And you have to, it's going to be interesting for France, but because the next game, maybe they will have the possibility to let the opponent dictating the game, and they're going to be better in counter-attack. Maybe.
Frank, we've talked about this over the years, in that France never exactly blow up in the group. It's all about getting that momentum going as we get deeper into the competition. Is there any sense, is there any danger that this tastes a bit different this time?
Well, normally it's not perfect at first, but at least, they're quite convincing. And I don't find anywhere where I can say, well, you know what, yeah, maybe in defense, but otherwise, it smells good. There is something happening. In the last World Cup, when they went to the final, I felt a chemistry between the players. I don't feel it. I'm still looking for it. There are like misunderstanding between the players. Some players don't play at the same pace, and I'm concerned about some stuff. There is selfishness at France. Well, every time they have the ball, they try to make the difference. Dembele, yes, was on fire on the penalty because the foul was on him. But otherwise, it's always, oh, what a pity. Oh, what a pity he missed. I already explained that. Mbappe, we don't know. I mean, he was pretty okay the first half. The second half, he disappeared, except on that penalty. But really, there are many question marks still. But yes, we have the hope that it's going to get better. They're going to be more focused on what they have to do. And they're going to find that chemistry, that feeling that we already we mostly have in a big competition when we reach the knockout stages.
How would you sum up Mbappe today, Stevie?
Could have been better.
Could have been worse.
Sum up France like that.
I mean, not just him, but if they take the chances, this game's finished at half-time.
Yeah.
And then when they go 1-0 up, clearly Deschamps was thinking the same, so he makes all the changes. And they kind of lose their way. But there was never any... Poland might have had a little bit of possession that they hadn't had before. but they never looked like scoring in a million years. And then up, surprise, surprise, the man who's been given penalties and chances away all season when he's played, pops up and gives a penalty away, a Upamecano. Shouldn't be anywhere near this French side. Particularly considering the choices they have at centre-back. The fact that he's played, I said it earlier, it's the Maguire of England. Doesn't play for his club team, but somehow is playing in the national side. And they paid for it today. So I think this is probably a right good kick up the backside for them.
Right.
They should have won the game comfortably. Mbappe missed 2 one-on-ones with the goalie. And Dembele missed a one-on-one with the goalie. Barcola could have scored. So it's their own fault they didn't win. Not so much to do with Poland, but kick up the backside.
Shaq, we saw Lewandowski score the penalty. How much sympathy do you have for Mannion in the fact, obviously, that a step took him off his line and they had to be taken again?
Well, even as Lewandowski is kind of around for the penalty, Stevie comments, I'm not sure why this is allowed. Yeah. This is before the first penalty. And in fairness, the law says you're not allowed to come to a hard stop. Lewandowski definitely does. So to your question, I do sympathise with Mannion. No, and as I've made this point previously with other penalty takers, when takers kind of run and slow down and change pace, they are trying to draw the goalkeeper off. And as a goalkeeper, you have to be mindful of that. So on the one hand, I want to say Mannion has to be more aware, more mindful of Lewandowski's run-up and the stutter step, but it's against the law. And you look at it, I think Nola, on 2 occasions, he comes to a hard stop, which the law tells us he absolutely shouldn't be doing. So that's a tough break for them. But for France, and I thought it was not a great game by any stretch of the imagination on their part. Absolutely should have won against a decidedly poor Poland team. They've been poor for quite some time. But you take it, and the thing for me, and the difference between France and England, when you look at France, and today kind of highlighted it, once Deschamps makes those changes, you look at the players that France can call on, that really can change everything about their game. Now we question whether Gareth Southgate can do the same with his substitutes and what kind of impact they can have. You look at Deschamps, you look at that bench, and my goodness, it could change in a heartbeat. So I'm less critical or less concerned about France than I am of England, outside of the fact that, as we mentioned, the 2 halves of the bracket can be more different.
You were renowned for changing your pick, Shaka, obviously famously after Argentina lost.
I don't know what
in
you're
the
talking about. I don't remember that at all.
If I gave you the opportunity to change your pick now from France, would you take it?
No.
Despite the fact that they're on the old...
I'm not. The French probably want me to change.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Frank would probably be more than happy if I changed, because that's a good omen.
Yes.
But no, I'm sticking with France.
What are you smiling at?
No, I'm smiling at because you say, oh, France are going to look at all the other teams, but I can assure you, all these other teams have went, why is France on our side?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Austria. Well, thanks, Holland. Blame the Dutch.
Exactly.
Yeah. We definitely thought that. We definitely thought that. But we thought that too. On our side, we were looking at, we're like, oh, France, oh my God, this is going to be a big problem. But one of the things what I see, like I hear you guys talking, I think also some of the teams that France are facing now are also aware of, like, okay, away from the talent, also the way they play. You know, like, because my past was also in France playing, and the counter-attack is one of the key things, and I think Frank already highlighted it. I remember I used to come to training and I had to warm up as a counter-attack. So everybody knows it, even in Holland, when we knew we were going to play them, they were going to play like that. But the only thing is now is that they have to come up with something else, because they have so much talent, but they have to come up with some of the individual surprises, because if not, it's just going to be one of those things that people are going to sit back and just wait, and hopefully they are fitter than them. That's the only thing they're playing them now.